Hi everyone, so today I'm going to go over the functional core workshop, which is one that's our repeat for when I do workshops at the studios, but I just wanted to have it online just in case you're like, I don't remember these exercises, I don't remember what we were doing. So first I'm going to start off with what is your core. So we have your transverse abdominis, which is your crisscross core. It's what holds everything together. Then we have your pelvic floor muscles, so all here. We have your obliques, which is the side. We have your serratus anterior, which is this. We have your back muscles right here in the back. We have your glute muscles. We have your hip flexors, your extenders. We have your abductors and abductors, which are your in-outs. Anything that involves a hip carriage, pretty much from here to about mid-thigh is all gonna be core. And we wanna strengthen all of those muscles and stretch and keep them mobile so that we're able to do things. So our core is a really big part of what we use in a day-to-day basis. If we're not using our core all the time, then the strain goes to our back. Then we start having tailbone and low back issues. We have trap issues that lead to that. We have hip issues and knee issues that kind of lead to that when we're not using our core. So we're gonna go through some exercises. Don't mind me if I flip over. My screen's down here with all of my exercises on it. So the first one is hip flexor strengthening. So it's seated up and down. So you would be here. Bring this guy a little closer to me so I can see. So your hip flexors. So we've done some of these in other core places in class and all of that, but what you want to do is you want to flex your toes and we want to come up and over, up and over. You want to make sure that you have control on everything. So from the side, it's an up and over, and then up and over. And you may notice a few of these exercises from repeats of other videos from what I've done in class before. Pretty much everything here, if it's for like a count, you want to do it 10 times on each side, 3 times through. If it's a timed thing, it's about 30 seconds. And then 3 times through on each side if it is a dual side. Then we have overhead seated up and over. So it's the same thing, except this time we want to really engage the core. So remember when I talked about core engagement, we have just like your regular core, remember that bellies are supposed to be loose before we tighten them up. So now what I'm going to do is bring my belly button in and up, and then I'm going to bring my rib cage together. So I'll show you from the front. You have your stomach, right? You're going to go belly button in and up, and then you're going to press that rib cage together. It's going to give me, you can see my obliques here. It's going to give me that core that I'm keeping super, super tight. That's would be what you would hold in a plank. So that's what you want to do every single time that you have any core motion specifically, but also thinking about that when you're doing other exercises. So those overhead seated up and overs, it's virtually the same thing, except this time you're overhead. And anything overhead, our backs want to arch, right? Because our bodies are lazy. So instead, we really want to focus on building up that core strength. Remember, with the core, it doesn't matter how long, how far, how wide, how tall it goes, as long as it's going. Again, those up and overs. Then we've got a Pilates roll up. See if I can do this here in my screen. Here we go. So your roll up, you want to start, it's not a sit up, right? So we're not jolting our arms forward to get up. You can flex the toes, you can relax the toes, whatever you need, but you're gonna look at your chest, then your belly button, hip flexors, quads, knees. Notice how I got up there with ease. And then I'm gonna roll back down nice and slow. I wanna roll back down at half speed. So say I took about 5 seconds to get up from that roll up, right? It's about 4 seconds. I'm gonna bring it down at 8 seconds or 10 seconds. You always want the down to be a little bit slower than your up, because that's really where we're engaging our core even more. And also on any exhale, we're also going to be engaging our core. We've got planks and side planks, which we have done so many times, but again, I will show you here. We have your plank. You're not going to see my face in this. We got your plank. You want to make sure that we're not arching, right? We're keeping that control. Our core is engaged, belly button scooped in and up. We got your side plank, which is the same thing, just on its side. And you can do that from your knees as well. Again, most of you already know how to do a side plank and a regular plank. Then we have your back extension. So lying on the ground, you do want to keep your feet glued to the ground. So I'm not going up like a Superman. My thumbs are up in front of me, by the way, like this. And I'm looking down at the ground. I'm doing a little bit of retraction while I'm at the ground. So I'm tucking slightly back and down. And what I'm doing is I'm squeezing through my back and I'm lifting up and I'm coming back down. Lifting and coming back down. And all of that lift is coming from this section of your back, okay? So you can either hold that for a few seconds. Remember that you don't want to stop breathing. It's very easy to stop breathing during that because it's uncomfortable to push your stomach into the floor. So a reminder to breathe through your chest when you're doing that one and not through your diaphragm. Next one that we have is a pull off press. So you can do this kneeling, not sitting, but kneeling, where you'd have a ball or a weight or something in your hand and you would press it out. You turn to the side, you come back, you press it in and out, and you turn to the other side. And what that's gonna feel like is a wringing towel sensation as you pull back. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, and again, you would do that multiple different times. Again, I'm not gonna go through the full length workshop here. I'm just going through those exercises that you can do on your own as some gentle reminders. Then we have your leg downs. You can do them multiple different ways. Laying down on the ground, way number one. Again, you're gonna be in a C-spine, so head, neck, and shoulders is off the ground. Option number one is gonna be a heel tap. You wanna breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Think of pulling towards you. From there, you can graduate to a leg down, single leg, or you do a double. I have a table right here, so I can't go all the way down, but you do want to go as far down as you can. And again, you're exhaling on the way up, engaging the core to pull those legs back. Yes, your hip flexors are also going to engage, okay? Then we have your laying lateral raises and your clamshells. So we're gonna go through your clamshells first just because I'm right here. You wanna make sure that your butt is in line with your back and your feet are in line with your butt. So we shouldn't be super forward. We shouldn't be all the way back here either. But my feet are in line with my butt, are in line with my head. And all I'm doing, you can have a band right above your knee if you want to, is I'm squeezing my glute to lift my leg and bringing it back. Squeeze to lift, bring it back, okay? And again, you do 10 on each side times 3. The lying leg lift is gonna be a little hard. Probably have to go this way. You wanna be, again, in line. So like before, this was our clamshell where my butt is in line with my hips, my feet. So you're lying, you wanna come up and down. Squeezing through the glute though, so I can only get about this high, and that's it. Yes, I can go all the way up. However, I don't feel that in my glute when I do that, and then I tend to rotate back. I don't want to rotate back. You want to squeeze your butt and lift. And lift. You can also do this bottom leg and lift. You can bend that knee and lift, right? You can do 2 legs up and down. But while you're doing that, we are engaging pelvic floor. We are engaging the core. Don't just think about lift my legs. You gotta think about everything that goes into it, or your core will never, I promise you, will never get stronger if you're not thinking about it, okay? You're not using it if you're not thinking about it. So then we have your dead bugs. We've done these plenty of times. We got hands up my chest, my knees are above my hips, I'm pushing out and I'm pulling in. Right, dead bugs. I cannot stress this enough. These are one of the most important things besides the plank that you can do. Exhale on the up, inhale on the down, and you want to think of that push-pull motion engaging the core the entire time, especially on those exhales. All right, we have your low bear crawl pull-throughs to go through, and then a few things that are standing. So your low bear crawl, and you can just practice this as well, is tabletop, right? So you are in tabletop right now, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. I'm gonna come up, so my knees are about an inch off the ground. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna practice again that retraction So I'm slightly down and back while I'm doing that. So I'm holding that slight retraction, and if I have something, I'm going to pull it across with having very little wavering in the rest of my body. Now, if you don't feel confident in that, that one is more advanced, you're just gonna hold your bear hold, okay? With that cervical retraction, and focus on inhaling, releasing, exhaling, contracting in that core. All right, so standing up, we are gonna go into your standing marches, and you're standing up and overs. So your standing up and overs are gonna be pull up, over and down. Pull up, over and down, okay? And you would do a few on each leg, right? Up, over, and down. Pull, over, release, okay? We have your overhead standing marches. I've done these in class before. These ones are really good for your core. We are overhead, either with a weight or just with your hands. That core is engaged again, because if it's not, we're gonna arch, right? We're gonna breathe out and we're gonna pull that leg up, exhale down. Sorry, exhale up, inhale down. Because again, on your exhales, that core engages even more, so that I'm not letting any torque happen in my hip carriage. It is stable and it is steady. We have your last one. We have your windmill or your chop, whatever you want to call it. So I see a lot of people with this. They like to go like this. It's like a golf swing, right? We're not doing that. That's not a chop. Okay? You want to look at your weight or your hands. You are going to twist this toe, but notice how I'm staying in front of my body. I'm only going as high up as I can. I'm not overturning my back. I'm not facing my chest this way. I am turning and I'm up. As soon as I feel that in my core, I'm coming back down. I'm looking, I'm turning, and I'm up. And that's all you need. It's a little tiny twist. It's gonna work more here. Okay, and you do 10 on each side, where you are exhaling on those ups, and then you are pulling back down. All right, so that is everything. I know it was very quick, that we went through in the functional core workshop. If you have any questions, drop a comment below, but you'll see some of these kind of cycle throughout classes as well.